Avoid the keto diet. Common sense, balanced diet is key.
Okay, in 5.
I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In.
Avoid the keto diet.
So this is a video that I wasn't too sure if I was actually going to make, but I decided to make it because of how popular this topic got. And that's of course a great opportunity for me to, gain some traction in the keto YouTube space, but I also wanted to give a unique take on this whole Jillian Michaels keto issue and just, give my 2 cents and help people out gain some value from this video. So maybe you clicked this video because you want to learn a lot about keto in one video. Maybe you clicked it because you heard of this. Maybe you clicked it because I threw up a funny Photoshop picture of Jillian Michaels. But either way, thank you for clicking, and I guess I'll just jump right into this. So I typically don't respond to when I see popular fitness people bashing keto, because most of the time they just don't know about it, and they're just drinking the Kool-Aid of, marketing companies and whatever. This time though, I realized how much influence and reach Jillian Michaels has, and because of how popular this got, I was just like, hey, I gotta talk about this because a lot of people could be getting misinformed here. So I'm not actually going to show you this video because it's pretty short. It's also just a load of misinformation, and I'll probably get copyrighted if I do, but I'll just kind of give you a little summary and then my 2 cents. So have some notes here, and I guess I'll just jump right in. So, for context, Jillian Michaels starts off by talking about animal fats and animal protein like they're a bad thing, right? That's just from the context, so maybe she would refute that if she were to ever see this, but that's just how it appears in the context. I haven't gotten into anything concrete yet. She also talks about the absence of processed sugars like they're a bad thing, at least from the context. Now, her actual argument says that when you cut out carbohydrates, you are starving your cells of a macronutrient. And that is actually completely false, because when you're on keto, your body isn't starved of anything. And starved would be a good word choice if she was talking about something that was essential for your body, but carbs aren't essential to your body. It's like, if you don't drink milk, I'm not going to tell you you're starving your body of milk. You're just not having milk. Especially because your body can make its own carbs whenever it needs them. And that's actually only when it makes those carbs. It only makes them when your body needs them. And if your body could make milk whenever it needed, actually that milk, some people do make milk as breastfeeding, right? Well, then you wouldn't be starving yourself of milk. Okay, well, unless that's bringing to mind people drinking their own milk, which is weird. You're not starving yourself of carbs because you're not eating them. Your body can produce them through a process called gluconeogenesis. So you might have heard of that term if you are not, really new to the keto community, if you're up on the literature about it. But it's basically when your body will produce carbs through proteins. And your body does that whenever it needs carbs, because there are certain processes in the body where your body needs carbs to complete. And, your body isn't going to be imbalanced at all just because you're cutting out carbs. In fact, your blood sugars are going to be a lot more balanced. And that even ties into the gluconeogenesis, because when your body's producing its own sugar. So she says avoid the keto diet because it's not balanced. And yes, it may not be balanced in terms of your macros equaling out to one another, but that never was an indicator of health as far as I have known from any scientific study. There's never been anything that said you need to have equal macros in order to be healthy. In fact, the problem that she's not addressing that where your macros come from is an important thing, because I can get all my carbs through Twinkies every day, and that would be probably a lot worse for myself than cutting them out altogether and getting my body to produce its own carbs from proteins. So where your macros come from is much more important than having them equal out to one another. And that should kind of be an indication of like what her understanding of health actually is. But anyways, so the keto diet is apparently imbalanced according to Jillian Michaels. But when your body has enough energy all the time and enough protein, your body's going to be just fine. Whether your energy comes from carbs, whether it comes from fats, your body's going to be happy if it has energy and enough protein to sustain itself. What it needs is the essential fatty acids and the essential amino acids. If you were to cut out your fats and cut out proteins, either one of those or both, your body would be in a lot more trouble than if you cut out carbs, because you need those things, those essential fatty acids and essential amino acids, for a lot of processes in your body. And that's actually what makes a lot of things healthy. Foods that contain a lot of the fat-soluble vitamins, typically animal fats, animal proteins, those are the most nutritious for your body, a lot more than eating a bowl of rice or a bowl of oatmeal. That's just energy. Your body just views that as fuel, the same way it would view stored body fat as energy. So, well, not the same way, but in terms of energy-wise, it's the same thing. It's like electric car or gas car, right? Energy. It's still going to get your body from here to there. Now, funny enough, there's a lot of scientific evidence that says that babies are born ketogenic. And it's pretty hard to get a baby, even if you give a baby a carb meal, it's only really going to kick them out of ketosis for a little bit. They're most of the time in ketosis, and it's a very natural state. That is kind of the whole antithesis of what she's throwing at you here, that, oh, don't even consider it, it's bad, avoid the keto diet. It's not a problem. It's natural. It's perfectly natural. Babies are born that way. Babies are maintained in that state because typical human breast milk, which, whether you do it or not, is a natural thing, is predominantly animal fat, animal protein, right? Not saying that you have to eat animal fat and animal protein on a keto diet. However, it's very helpful, and a lot of nutrients can come from there, especially because breast milk is it's just a testament to how natural the state ketosis is, because even the foods that babies were basically meant to be consuming, as far as you look at meant in terms of an evolutionary sense, it's ketosis 100% through and through. So, ketosis is definitely a lot healthier than the standard American diet, and it's a lot more natural as well. The imbalance, just because you're leaving out a macronutrient, won't make your body suffer because it's not an essential macronutrient. And even fats and proteins aren't essential macronutrients, as you call them that, because all fats aren't essential, all proteins aren't essential, but the essential fatty acids and essential proteins come from those two categories, right? So your body can never produce its own fats or proteins, but it can produce its own carbs. And basically, if you were to ever cut out fats and proteins, your body would be messed up a hell of a lot more than it would from cutting out carbohydrates. So, I'll jump into why I think Jillian Michaels got this wrong, and it's typically because the same way that a lot of other people get this wrong. They typically get keto wrong because they either think that you need to be eating carbs, which we know is not necessarily true because of that whole argument I just listed, down there, right? Or they just think that you need to be eating bacon and butter coffee all day, which is not true. And that kind of ties into the next point, because where you get your macronutrients, like I said, is much more important. And there's a healthy way and an unhealthy way to do many diets. And you can be eating brown rice, or you can be eating Twinkies, and, they're both carbs, right? You can be eating eggs and fish and avocados as your fat source, or you can be eating bacon grease all day, right? Which one do you think your body is going to get more nutritional value out of, right? With the carb example and the fat example. It's all about your choice, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do many diets. Keto is one of them. And it's the same way like saying that, oh, you're eating just bacon all day and fat and whatever, you're clogging your cholesterol, your cholesterol's through the roof, you're clogging your arteries. It's not true. It's not true if you are doing the diet in a healthy way. Same thing for as if I were to say somebody doing a carbohydrate-based diet is just raising their blood sugar through the roof. Well, if they're eating clean, complex carbohydrate sources and they're not overdoing it, their body's going to be just as, they can balance themselves out. However, it's a lot harder than on a keto diet because your blood sugars are inherently always more stable. So that's why I think she got it wrong. But, basically the whole problem in her logic is that she's not differentiating where these macros should be coming from. And even if she doesn't need to be getting into those details, just pointing, not acknowledging that where your macros come from is important, and just saying, you know, you need balanced macros is really not true at all. You don't necessarily need balanced macros. Balance is key in a lot of things, but balance is key is just a cool phrase to throw around to make yourself look like people won't question you on it. And the whole thing I want to lead this with is that the peak of your sophistication should never be just black and white. You should always have more complexity to your understanding of things, and it should never be carbs are bad, fat's good, fat's bad, carbs are good. It should always be, you know, don't put things in boxes, you know? Carbs aren't necessarily bad, but there can be a lot of bad to them. Fats aren't necessarily bad, but if you're, you know, frying up bacon grease every day, your cholesterol, it's obviously going to affect your cholesterol in a way that is not healthy compared to getting your cholesterol from eggs, for example. So your understanding should always be, you know, pick up things for what they are. Don't add any other judgments onto them. Don't put things in boxes. And, you know, as far as Jillian Michaels' peak of her understanding of health and what is nutritiously valuable to you, clearly that complexity ends as soon as it gets to macronutrients, and just balance is key, right? Everybody has different needs, and although there's a lot of commonalities between humans in general, perfectly proportionate macronutrients is not the solution. Even if that's not the full dense version of her beliefs are. Anyways, so if you're, you know, very curious on the keto diet and you want to learn more, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I would love to answer some of your questions, your concerns, and I would love to help you get in the best shape of your life and enjoy it while you're doing it. I personally think keto is the best way to do it, and, you know, if you keep watching my videos, I am confident enough to say that I will turn you into a master of your own dieting and getting in shape that you like and liking it while you're getting in shape. So, thank you. Peace. My name is Anthony Romano. Peace.